Hello, everyone. Welcome to the electronic version of our ACE annual discipline meeting. My name is Melissa Boback. I'm the program coordinator for our accounting program, and I'm also an assistant professor of accounting at the college. My contact information is shown here and also on the ACE My Peak page for the business department. It is mboback@pennhighlands.edu, and my phone number is also listed on there. However, I do travel among the sites, so please email me if you need to get a hold of me in a hurry, because that is the fastest and best way to reach me to get a quick answer to a question. And please do feel free to contact me anytime with questions about your ACE courses with the college. Couple things I wanted to remind you regarding the changes that we made to our accounting program last year. Our old accounting course, ACC 110, which was Principles of Accounting, and our new course, ACC 150, Accounting Principles 1, are not identical to each other. So if you have not yet reviewed that syllabus for ACC 150 and you're trying to make an equivalent course, you will definitely want to review that and make sure that your learning objectives are in line with the new ACC 150 syllabus. Some differences here: they both cover the accounting cycle for a sole proprietorship service business. However, the old course only emphasized 3 adjustments: supplies, depreciation, and wages accrued, whereas the new course has much more emphasis on adjustments. So there are adjustments for deferred or prepaid expenses, deferred or unearned revenues, accrued expenses, or what we sometimes call accrued liabilities, accrued revenues, or what we sometimes call accrued assets, and depreciation. So you will see on the MyPeak ACE page for ACC 150 that there is some additional information there that you can use to enhance your textbooks a little bit, because I know on the high school level they tend to focus on those 3 adjustments instead of focusing on all of these adjustments that are really necessary for the students at a college level. The other big change is that instead of covering payroll, basic payroll, of course, in the old Principles of Accounting course, we, in lieu of that, now have a separate payroll accounting course that goes much more in depth. So we have eliminated payroll from ACC 150, and we have incorporated QuickBooks online training into that course. So remember, if you have not yet incorporated that training, you're going to want to do that this year. Why QuickBooks? Basically because it's the #1 small business accounting software in the country. Students with knowledge of QuickBooks Online can very easily transition to other small accounting software, and it is very reasonable. In fact, it is free. So 0 cost to your students, 0 cost to your school. And they do offer both QuickBooks Online and desktop solutions, but we're going to focus on QuickBooks Online for this class. So please make sure that that is the product that you are incorporating, because they are definitely not exactly the same. The online product, what's great about it, it's not device specific, so it's compatible with a lot of different devices, which is wonderful for schools. They don't need to purchase special equipment. Any computer will work for this. You as an instructor can request non-expiring access to QuickBooks. They will give you the online accountant edition. The students, on the other hand, will get the pro edition. You need the accountant edition because the students will invite you to be their accountant, and in that way you'll be able to view each of your students' files and help them and guide them as they're completing different things. Also, as an instructor, you can have free QuickBooks online certification training, and so you can use that for professional development purposes and things of that nature, and to just learn more about the software if you're not super familiar. On a college level, we have the students request their own 12-month renewable trial access, but on a high school level, you're going to need to request the licenses for your students and supply them with their username and then their temporary password until they can change it for themselves. I do recommend using Google Chrome for best results. Sometimes if you don't, issues with cache and cookies can arise. You have lots of instructor resources available on the Pro Advisor tab on QuickBooks. Once you have access, there's tutorial videos, there's certification study guides, there's suggested textbooks and materials, not all of which are free, but we'll talk about some free opportunities here in a minute. Additional training opportunities are also out there, so they'll send you things for free webinars, virtual conferences, face-to-face training sessions. So you'll see all kinds of things for that. Your students, like I mentioned, will invite you as their accountant. That's why you have the accountant version and the student does not. and it's very easy for them to do so. And then you can even invite each other to your company file. So if you want to allow the students to do group work or something along those lines, that is an option. And when you've finished up with a group of students, you can just make that group inactive to remove them from your active client dashboard. I always have my students put their first initial and their last name before the company name so that I can identify them very quickly on my dashboard. If you accidentally make someone inactive, you can always find them, search for them, and find them and reactivate them. There is a payroll feature of QuickBooks Online. We don't get into it a whole lot in our ACC 150 class simply because we are pressed for time at 15 weeks, meeting twice a week. But I realize that many high school educators have half of their year or even a whole year to devote to this. So if you want to learn a little bit about the payroll feature and then introduce it to your students, that's fine. You can always do more than we do at PHCCC, but you cannot do less. So please make sure that you're meeting all of the learning objectives on your syllabus, and that goes for any BUS or any ACC course that you would happen to be teaching, any PHCC course that you would happen to be teaching. And then if you want to add to it, you can certainly do that. So the payroll feature would be something you could add to it. It does only allow a 30-day trial though, so don't activate it until you're ready to use it in class. We'll warn the students that ahead of time. And of course, never enter real names, identifying numbers, or bank account information in a trial version. License approval is pretty easy, usually takes 1 to 3 business days, sometimes same day approval. You as an educator are going to go out there to this website that you see here, which is education.intuit.com, and you're going to request the educational licenses for your students. And sometimes I find that instructors, if you go out to this website, there's a phone number. If they call that phone number, they sometimes have faster and easier success getting that all set up. So you may want to go that route. The QuickBooks Education team does provide a plethora of resources for you guys. So you can register for this site as well, learn.intuiteducation.com. Now, this is an instructor-only site, so you will not want to share this with your students. Please don't. But this is where you can go to get free teaching materials for different topics for both QuickBooks Online and Desktop, but of course it is the online product that I want you to be focusing on in ACC 150. So be very careful where that is concerned to make sure that you're going to this website and getting some information. You can also share that freely via email or your learning management system with your school. There will be materials, though, on your ACE MyP page for ACC 150 come the end of October, beginning of November, before the annual discipline meeting. And it will be a common project with a common grading rubric for you. That's going to be our common assessment piece for ACC 150 for this year. So you can go to the ACE MyP page and check that out. So moving on to that. Last piece of information that I wanted to provide you with, assessment information. PHCC tracks student success, obviously, in achieving all of our learning objectives. So we're very interested in assessment, and we need your help to help track your student success in our PHCC courses at your high schools. So you send us that information, and then we store and track it in our assessment system repository, which is called TrackDat. So if you ever hear us reference TrackDat, that's what we're talking about. For ACC 150, like I said, our common assessment information will pertain to QuickBooks Online training, and you'll see a common project and a grading rubric located on the MyPeak ACE page for ACC 150 before that annual discipline meeting on November 7th. And you will also see additional reference materials out there, such as some sample tests, some sample comprehensive projects, and definitely more resources in the area of adjusting entries so that you can help to supplement your material a bit if your book is not terribly robust in those areas. For the BUS courses, common assessment information can also be found on each individual MyPeak ACE page for the course. And of course, our whole purpose in that is to continually improve our course content and make sure that the students are mastering all of the learning objectives that they need to have.